Hello, ma'am. If the resource person is ready, we shall start. I think so.
Okay, sir.
Andrea, ma'am,
Yes,
shall we start?
Yes, sir. Please start.
sir,
Okay,
shall we
thank you.
proceed,
Thank you.
sir?
Yes, ma'am. Kindly proceed. It's 6:30.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. Hearty welcome to end of the day of our faculty development program. Before starting my content, first of all, I would like to thank all the participants for your active participation for last 4 days. As we continue our journey of knowledge sharing and growth, I would like to take this moment to create knowledge by past 4 days. On behalf of Sacred Art College, it's my privilege to welcome you all for a wonderful program, 5 days online faculty development program on global scenario and future prospects in life sciences, organized by PG and Research Department of Biochemistry. It's great honor and pride in welcoming our resource person, Dr. Andrea Mary, Assistant Professor, Department of Human Genetics, Sri Ramachandra Institute of Higher Education and Research, Chennai. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your accepting our invitation, for your great support and being with us to share your knowledge, ma'am. Hearty welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. And also, I would like to welcome Dr. A. Jayaprakash, sir, PG and PhD head, and Dr. M. Fernandez Durai, sir, UG head. Hearty welcome you, sirs. And also, I would like to welcome Mrs. J. Reshma, ma'am, UG Association President. Welcome you, ma'am. And also, I would like to welcome all the heads of the department and faculty members of our institution and participants from various institutions. Hearty welcome you all. Next, I would like to welcome, next, I would like to call Dr. Govindrajan, sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Biochemistry, to introduce our resource person. Please, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So, good evening to one and all. I am very much happy to introduce the resource person of the day, Dr. Andrea Mary, Assistant Professor, Department of Human Genetics from Sri Ramachandra Institute of Higher Education and Research, Porur, Chennai. So, she is a distinguished academician and researcher with extensive expertise in biochemistry, molecular biology, cancer biology, and cytogenetics. A highly accomplished educator, she has played a pivotal role in the academic and research domains, specializing in areas such as genetic polymorphism in cancer susceptibility, prenatal diagnosis, and stem cell research. With over a decade of experience, Dr. Andrea Mary has mentored postgraduate and undergraduate students across diverse fields, including human genetics, biomedical sciences, and nursing. She has supervised numerous research projects addressing key issues such as ovarian cancer, susceptible genes, mutation analysis of BRCA1, and genotoxicity and cytotoxicity of anti-cancer drugs. A prolific contributor to scientific literature, Dr. Andrea has published in reputable journals indexed in Scopus and Springer, highlighting her contributions to understanding breast cancer susceptibility genes and genetic pathways associated with cancer risk. She also the author of a book on microbial technology, reflecting her interdisciplinary approach to science. Her innovative research has earned multiple rewards, including the Emerging Researcher Award and several accolades for best paper and poster presentations at national and international conferences. Additionally, Dr. Andrea Mary has secured prestigious grants such as DBT Pilot Project Grant for young investigators and the Young Faculty Research Grant showcasing her ability and to lead impactful research initiatives. Dr. Andrea Mary is actively engaged in diagnostic services, workshops, and conferences, contributing to advancements in teaching methodologies and research ethics. She has served as a resource person in workshops and seminars, sharing her expertise in cancer genetics, biochemical diagnostics, and chromosomal abnormalities. So, her commitment to academic excellence and research innovation and professional development established Dr. Andrea Mary as a leading person in the field of human genetics and biomedical sciences. So with this brief introduction, I hand over the session to Dr. Andrea Mary for her talk. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much,
The
sir.
sessions. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Can I proceed, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Please, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Proceed, ma'am.
Thank you so much for the introduction, sir. Thank you. I thank Sacred Heart College for the opportunity that is given to me. I thank all of you well in advance before we start the section. Are you able to see the slides?
Ma'am?
Are you able to see the slides, ma'am?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Yes, now?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, now visible, ma'am. Full screen, ma'am. Full screen.
Yeah, slide is visible, ma'am. You can make it as full screen.
Yes, yes. Yes, good evening to one and all present here. I'm so excited to present you on the topic, an awareness on breast and ovarian cancer, know thyself and value yourself. So let's move on to the topic, the molecular advances in gynecology malignancy. So first, I could be stressing upon three important aspects in the case of cancer, especially gynecology malignancy, which affects women more commonly. So I could be talking about know thyself and value yourself, especially highlighting women health. And then I could be talking about breast and ovarian cancer awareness. And also I could be updating you all on the scientific genetic informations. So these are the three aspects that I could be talking with you all and discussing with you all today. So let's move on to the first topic, know thyself and value yourselves. So to begin with, the most famous saying said by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru is that to awaken the people, it is the women who must be awakened. So once she is on the move, the family moves, the village moves, the nation moves. I think you all agree with that. So I would like to repeat the sentence by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. To awaken the people, it is the women who must be awakened. So once she is on the move, the family moves, the village moves, the nation moves. So as a woman, I know women over there and even men, you should understand that it is very important that all the women are awakened in knowing who they are. They should value themselves. So once they recognize themselves, value themselves, it's a great move for the family, for the village, for the nation, for the workplace, and for everything. So with this, I would like to move further on, and I request all of your attention to this particular topic. So the major obstacles that is faced by women is that gender discrimination, prenatal diagnosis and feticide, health and nutrition, denial of educational rights, dowry as an evil against women, sexual harassment, child marriage, and health issues. These are the obstacles that each and every woman are facing. Even now they face this. They faced this even previously, and even now. I would like to highlight these obstacles once again to you all. I want all of you to have your attention on this. Gender discrimination, prenatal diagnosis and the female feticide, health and nutritionally imbalances, denial of educational rights, dowry as an evil against women, sexual harassment, child marriage, and health issues. I think each and every woman would agree upon all these things, and also request the men to be very true and honest that women are facing all this, because you have your life partner at home who could be facing a health issue and all that. And even today, when I used to collect feedback forms or any sort of things, even today, the the youngest generation of all, they have complaints saying that they are denied of educational rights in comparison with their male siblings. So even now, it is so surprising to hear the parents discriminating the female child from the male child, even today. So, a lot of complaints come like this with us. So I used to hear a lot of things when, and I used to be very surprised to see that even nowadays, parents are so discriminating. In workplace, it is so discriminating. And, women are suffering from a lot of health issues and not taking care about themselves. So again, I request all of your attentions. So the walk of a woman in the world is not a bed full of roses. No, it's not a bed full of roses for the women. Women have worked across thorns, because they have faced a lot of challenges. That is, they were not permitted to go to school. They were permitted only to do housework. They were harassed a lot by dowry system. And even sati, once they lose the male partners, they are forced to undergo sati, abolish themselves, their life. And also, female infanticide was also practiced. Even now, we do not reveal the sex of the fetus, fearing that they may be killed. Okay. So these also, the walk of a woman is not in a bed of roses. I repeat, it is bed of thorns that the women has come across. They've crossed so many hurdles, and the hurdles are listed here. Very few are listed here now. So, now you can see that the women have crossed all the hurdles and they are going for studies, going for higher studies. It's not that there is no obstacles. Along with the obstacles, taking up everything, the women are moving across. So now what the women has to realize is that your crown has been bought and paid for. All you must do is put on the crown. So the crown, of study, the crown of working, the crown of multitasking, the crown of visiting abroad and, pursuing higher studies is all being paid by other women, and it is got for a price. All that the women has to do is that they just have to wear the crown and enjoy themselves. That's the most important thing that, that has been demanded now. The role of women at this point is self-realization. Self-realization is, understanding your importance in the family, in the society, in the workplace. That is very, very important. Okay, so you have to, the role of women is self-realization. Most of the women, they don't realize, they don't give importance to themselves. They don't care about themselves. They don't, give importance to their daily needs, to their medical requirements and needs. So the women, they just deny their own self. It is almost like, committing a internal suicide for themselves. So that is how the women are. So it is very important that self-realization is very important before your health get tarnished. It is very important each and every woman realize their importance and to do the work accordingly. So women's biology and the performance of maternal functions place her at a disadvantage in the struggle for subsistence, especially when the burdens of motherhood are upon her and physiological changes of menstrual cycle. So women's biology, places her at a very disadvantageous position because motherhood, lot of hormonal changes, physiological changes during the menstrual cycle puts or sets the women a little back. Understand? The physical well-being of women become an object of public interest and care in order to preserve the strength and vigor of the race. So it is very, very important that, women, they have certain obstacles in terms of health issues and all that, because they're constantly exposed to physiological changes due to menstrual cycle, hormonal imbalance and changes. So women should understand this. And, nowadays, women's health is considered to be the topmost priority and public interest, because preserving the race of women is very, very important. And once when you wanted to preserve the race of the women, it is very important that each and every woman self-realize their importance, and every partner in life, as well as, in the workplace, they should realize and value the women in their life. So that is very, very important. So let it not be forgotten that women is a central figure in our society, and one who inspires confidence and inculcates and prepares children to pursue their goals relentlessly. So it's very important that women are very, very important. They are the central figure, because they are the one who, they have the inbuilt talent or inbuilt ability, to prepare the children to achieve their goals relentlessly. History bears testimony to the fact that heights of patriotism, selflessness, fearlessness, determination are imbibed in children only through the persistent efforts of mothers. That is what the history says. Women are very important in imbibing, in inculcating, in growing the children. So it is very, very important that nobody can replace women. So it's very important that we preserve the race of women by making them understand, by valuing them so much. That is very important. So the women has to be provided with prerequisite of life. That is very, very important. So there are certain prerequisites in a life. So, yeah. So pride disguise of women wellness, women, they take great pride in saying that women are very sacrificing. And women also say that they are very multitasking. They used to play role at home, at kitchen. They used to have even their systems open and complete their work. We always, women take a great pride in saying that we are very sacrificing. We sacrificed our job, we sacrificed our life, our goals and ambitions, and everything for the sake of the family and for the work. And we also take a great pride in saying that we are very good at multitasking, so many tasks at a time. And we are also playing a great role of being a leader, being a mother, being a sister, being a partner, doing an official role. But ultimately, on the whole, the stress is getting built up upon the women. So it is very important that though women, they have a great pride in doing multitasking, it is very important that the women consider their health at the maximum. And I request the people surrounding her to also recognize that in spite of multitasking, a lot of stress is getting built upon her, and which will always deteriorate and tarnish her health. And we can no more see her very lively like that. So it is very important that even in the workplace, as a male co-workers, in the house as a male partners, it is very important that we recognize and value the women. And though they are very good at multitasking, it is very important that men take up certain responsibilities and give certain amount of space for the women, because I repeat once again, women undergo a lot of physiological changes due to menstrual cycle, and also due to motherhood and pregnancy and lactation and menopausal status and so many things. So it is very important that each and every one of us understand this and value women, and give them the space to build upon their health and well-being. So that is very, very important. So ignorance shall be a very suicidal act. There is one purpose to life, and that is to come to know thyself and to take care of themselves. So I'm stressing so much about women, and then I'm moving on to the real topic. Okay, so ignorance, once the women, the men around us, the children around us ignore, it will be a real suicidal act. So there is only one purpose to life, and that is to know ourselves and to take care about ourselves. So that is very, very important. Women generally, they tend to avoid taking care about themselves, because by nature, they are women who take care about others. Okay. So that is one thing we need to take care of. Measures of women empowerment will be able to achieve their ends as the women unravel their own myth. So I repeat once again, ignorance of women's health, will be a great suicidal act. So we pat ourselves saying that we are very good at multitasking, being a leader, doing so many things at a time, but still taking care of yourselves and letting down the stress level, will be a good act. So avoiding that will be a kind of ignorance, and that will be a suicidal act. So let's move on to the breast cancer awareness. So let's move on. So this is what I would like to say. Now let's move on to the topic, breast cancer. As a women and all, I request you all to have your great attention here. Cancer is a global burden. Lung cancer ranks first. When you talk about when both the sexes are considered, lung cancer is the most frequently diagnosed cancer, and that is followed by the breast cancer. The lifetime prevalence of breast cancer is about 1 in 12 in UK and 1 in 8 in about United States of America. That is, out of 12 women, 1 will be affected with cancer. And then the global burden of cancer, breast cancer, increased to about 2 million by 2030. So the breast is an endocrine gland. It undergoes continuous changes, responds to hormonal influences during menarche, pregnancy, lactation, and menopausal state. It is an organ which is targeted by a variety of hormones, playing vital role in the regulation of numerous physiological functions and development. So, breast cancer, it is a very vital organ. And this is an organ is very special because it is subject to continuous changes, because it is under the influence of hormones. During menarche, pregnancy, lactation, and menopausal stages. It is an organ which is targeted by a variety of hormones. It regulates numerous physiological functions and development. So that is why breast is more prone to cancer. Okay, and it's the second leading cause of cancer when both the sexes are considered, and it is a leading cause of cancer when women alone is considered. So what are the symptoms of breast cancer? New lump in the breast or underarm, thickening or swelling of the part of the breast, irritation or dimpling of the breast skin, redness or flaky skin in the nipple area of the breast, pulling in of the nipple or pain in the nipple area, nipple discharges, any change in size or shape of the breast, or pain in any area of the breast. So these are the symptoms of breast cancer. The death rate, the mortality rate due to breast cancer in India is about 12.7 per 100,000 women. So the incidence, you can see that Delhi ranks highest, followed by Chennai, Bangalore, and Trivandrum. So breast cancer occurs in younger premenopausal stage in comparison to the Western countries. So breast cancer occurs at a very young age in India. The disease peaks between 40 to 50 years in Indian women, and is also diagnosed at an advanced stage. About 45.7% of breast cancer is diagnosed at a very late stage. So worldwide, the breast cancer usually diagnosed at stage 1 or stage 2. But when you consider the Indian scenario, it is diagnosed only at the late stage. So, and and it is diagnosed at a very advanced stage, not at the stage 1 or stage 2. So at that time, the severity of the disease could have been progressed. So when you talk about breast carcinogenesis, the reason can be physical, chemical, hormonal, environmental, and genetic. Okay. The types of breast cancer, there are a variety of breast cancer subtypes are there. You have biological, histological, types of breast cancer is there. How do you diagnose a breast cancer? Physical or self-examination, breast cancer screening, breast ultrasound, and confirmation using a tissue biopsy. So we already saw the breast cancer peaks at the age of 40 to 50 in Indian scenario. Physical examination, Breast cancer detection is either during a physical screening or when the woman notices a mass or lump in the breast. Breast cancer detection is either during a physical screening or when the woman notices a mass or lump in the breast. Breast cancer screening methods like mammography is available. 40 to 44 years, we can undergo annual mammography tests. 45 to 54 years, it is mandatory to undergo annual mammography. Age 55 years or older, you can have a mammography is also advised. And if the women falls under higher category, that is if the family members are affected with cancer or something, they can start undergoing mammography from the age of 30. Yes. So this is the breast cancer screening awareness age that is being given, recommended. Mammogram detection, breast lumps and masses, they can turn out to be benign. So the confirmatory test can be done only using a tissue biopsy for accurate diagnosis. And the treatment includes surgery, radiation therapy, systemic therapy, chemotherapy, targeted therapy, and hormonal therapy. So surgery, that is removal of the breast, radiation therapy, systemic therapy, chemotherapy, targeted therapy, and hormonal therapy. So the surgery is that, you have two types, breast conserving surgery and mastectomy. So removing the cancerous tissue along with the rim of the normal tissue. Radiation therapy to destroy the residual and the remnant cancer cells in the breast, chest wall, and underarm area to avoid the recurrence of the cancer. Chemotherapy, hormone therapy, and targeted therapy is also there, where the hormones are blocked in the case of hormone-dependent cancer. You have trastuzumab, which is given for HER2-positive breast cancer. Anti-estrogen drugs is recommended in the case of estrogen receptor-positive breast cancer patients. The risk factors of breast cancer, kindly notice. Benign breast disease. In the case of menstrual cycle, when the person attains menarche very at the early stage, okay. Late menopause, pregnancy, endogenous hormonal levels, estrogen, breastfeeding, hormonal birth control, weight gain, physical inactivity, alcohol, smoking, exposure to radiation pollutants, family history of any cancer, gender of being a woman itself is a high risk for breast cancer, ethnicity, personal history of breast cancer, genetic factors. These are the risk factors for breast cancer. So when you talk about ovarian cancer, it is the 8th most commonly diagnosed cancer among women in the world. It is the highest mortality rate among the gynecologic cancer. Mostly it is diagnosed at very advanced stage and it is associated with very poor survival. The ovarian cancer incidence is 100 per 100,000. Stage 1, the cancer is confined only to the ovaries. Stage 2, the cancer is on one or both the ovaries and it has spread to the pelvic regions. And stage 3, the cancer is on both the ovaries and has spread to the abdomen, lymph nodes, and back of the abdomen. And stage 4, the cancer has metastasized to the distal site or other organs outside the abdomen and the pelvic region. This is regarding the ovarian cancer. Ovarian cancer also, there are a lot of subtypes in ovarian cancer. The risk factors of ovarian cancer, family history of breast, ovarian or colon cancer, pregnancy, decreased risk. The thing which is associated with the increased risk is that genetic mutation, postmenopausal status, increase in age. Decreases the risk is pregnancy, breastfeeding, and oral contraceptives, All these decreases the risk. Now let's discuss about nature's God's given protection against breast and ovarian cancer. By nature, all women are protected by God. How? Let's see that. Menopausal status. The risk of breast cancer is approximately 20% higher in girls who menstruate before the age of 11. So if a girl is attaining the puberty at a very early age, that means that she's getting exposed to hormones at a very early age. So this increases the risk of cancer by 20% compared to those who started the puberty at the age of 30. Similarly, menopause. Menopause at the age of 55 or older increases the risk by 12%. So that is when you menopause, that means the hormonal exposure is reduced. So if it is between 50 to 54, it decreases the risk. So, menopause is a good sign where it, decreases the risk of breast cancer than, because it reduces the exposure to hormones. Pregnancy, when a lady gets pregnant, her menstrual cycle is stopped for a period of 1 year. So at that time, she's not exposed to hormones. That gives a very good protection against cancer. So, getting married at the right age and giving birth to her children at the right age, it's a God's given protection against cancer. Okay. First pregnancy and childbirth before the age of 35, it decreases the risk of breast cancer. Every 1 year delay, in menopause leads to an increased breast cancer, and every additional childbirth leads, if you have 2-3 children, all these things decreases the risk of cancer by 5 to 10%. Breastfeeding is a natural protection against cancer. Breastfeeding for 1 year, it delays your your periods. So thereby, exposure to hormones. Okay. A comprehensive review of 40 studies from 30 countries showed that the risk of breast cancer is reduced by 4% with every 12 months of breastfeeding. Nowadays, most of the women, they avoid breastfeeding, they delay the childbirth, they delay the age of marriage. So many things are there. So all these things, increases the risk of cancer. Okay. Then explanation is that breastfeeding inhibits menstruation, thus reducing the total number of menstrual cycles experienced during one's lifetime. Yet another reason could be that the structural changes that occur in the breast after lactation and weaning have a protective effect against cancer. Yes, are you able to understand?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Very clear.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Yeah. One more thing is exposure to xenoestrogens. What do you mean by xenoestrogens is that estrogen is a hormone that is naturally produced in our body, but these estrogens are present in cosmetics that we use, in creams that we use, and also in the pesticides that is used in agricultural field. They all act and mimic as estrogens. So they start binding to the estrogen receptors that is present on the cells, and they trigger cellular proliferation and promote cancer. Okay. So they are called as endocrine disruptors. So they act as estrogens, hormones, and they are present as food preservatives and all that, and they increases the risk of breast cancer. So this is one way of increasing cancer. Yes. So far, am I clear? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
important thing is the nature's God's given protection is giving birth to the child, feeding the child, having many children, and then attaining menarche at the age of 13 and menopause by the age of 50 to 54. All these are God's nature's given protection against cancer. So when we deviate from this, we have an increased, we increase the risk of cancer. Okay. Now we'll move on to scientific forum. So breast cancer as a unique mechanism of carcinogenesis, exogenous and endogenous hormones drives the cellular proliferation. So when you talk about breast cancer, they are estrogen dependent, and estrogen status is routinely screened in the case of breast cancer patients. Estrogen on binding to the cell surface receptors, it triggers breast cancer, and the recommended drugs, aromatase, tamoxifen, all these acts by inhibiting the hormone, the female hormone estrogen. So all these things emphasizes that this hormone estrogen plays a very important role in increasing the risk of breast cancer. So any gene that is involved in the metabolic pathway of this estrogen, if there is any mutation, indirectly it triggers the cellular proliferation. So when a body encounters the hormone estradiol, it is acted upon by the phase 1 enzymes and it is detoxified by phase 2 enzymes and it is eliminated from the body. Similarly, the hormones can also be metabolized by CYP1B1 genes and it can be detoxified by the phase 2 enzymes and it will be eliminated from the body. And few of them will go and bind to the DNA and few will go and bind to the receptors that is present on the cell surface and they promote normal cellular proliferation. But when these genes, when they are mutated or when these genes are polymorphic, what happens is that there will be a genomic instability. Understand? When there is increased activity of these genes or decreased detoxification efficiency, this will cause disruption, genomic instability, and causes cancer proliferation and DNA damage, thereby triggering breast cancer. So there should always be a balance between the activation and deactivation of toxic compounds. Okay, otherwise it causes cancer. So everywhere, in India, a lot of studies has been conducted with respect to genetics, as well as in various parts of the world also, genetic studies has been carried out. But we have found that it differs from population to population. Each and every population has shown varied results. So it is very important that each and every population performs the genetic test with respect to their population and has their own findings. For example, if a gene is mutated, understand? So this is a native gene. This is a protein that is produced by the native gene or normal gene. Okay, this red indicates the protein that is produced by a mutant gene. Okay, this particular gene is responsible for detoxification. So if it is mutated, this gene will not be able to bind to the toxic compound and detoxify it. Okay, the function and the structure is lost. So this is how a genetic change will influence the function of the protein. So instead of this blue kind, it is changed into the red and it shows altered function. Similarly, in a study, we found that BRCA1 gene was found to be mutated. We had four families which had several family members being affected with cancer. Can you see? This is family 1, family 2, family 3, and family 4. This is a classic family, meaning several members in the family were affected with cancer. Can you see? Many members in the family are affected with different types of cancer. So these families were shortlisted and we screened for BRCA1 mutation out of the 4 family, the classic history of several family members being affected, family 2, they found to be positive for the deleterious 185 del AG mutation. Okay, so this was found to be positive in this particular family. So this. Yeah, these findings I would like to share with you all. Yeah, this is another gene which is this is a gene which is involved in the DNA repair pathway. So this gene, when it is mutated, the red indicates mutated protein, and this blue indicates native protein. So when it is in the normally, the native structure is like that, so that it can bind to the other repair partners and perform the DNA repair efficiently. So if this gene is mutated, it loses its structure and becomes like this. So it will not be very effective in binding to other genes and performing its function. Yes, any doubts here? So, estrogen receptor, estrogen metabolizing, and DNA repair together, it contributes to breast carcinogenesis. One more important thing is, there are several, this is in the case of ovarian cancer, PA1, LRP, and MMP4. They all interact together and promote, metastasis and invasion. So if there is any mutation in these genes, they trigger breast carcinogenesis, they trigger ovarian cancer. The interplay between LRP1, PAI1, MMP14 is found to be interconnected to cancer cells. Okay, so they all have a very great role in metastasis. So if there is any mutation in these particular genes, they are found to play a very drastic role in promoting promoting ovarian carcinogenesis. And nowadays, these are targeted for therapy. So if these genes are silenced, the metastatic property of ovarian cancer is being lost. This is one important finding. The other important finding is that in certain patients, they may not have BRCA1 and BRCA2 mutation, but there are genes which interact with BRCA1 and BRCA2, like RAD51, SRCC2, like that. So if these genes are mutated, they act as though they are mutated BRCA1 and 2. I will understand BRCA1 and 2 is normal, but the genes which is interacting with them, if it is mutated, they mimic as though they are BRCA mutated cancer cells. So this way also we can target cancer cells and treat them. These are the molecular advances in the case of cancer. Okay, tumors with a defect in homologous recombination system other than BRCA1 gene variants express BRCA-ness profile. They act as though they are BRCA mutated, but BRCA is normal, but the other genes which is interacting with the BRCA is actually mutated. Okay, so they will, so in that way we can find the culprit, the partner culprit, and we can target them, and then we can treat the breast cancer patients. So it is time to close the cycle of victimization. We need to encourage women to recognize themselves and take a good care about themselves. Yeah. With this, I close with my study. If you have any doubts pertaining to this, you can ask.
Thank you,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yeah. So today
Thank
we
you
have
for your. Please
actually
go ahead.
Thank you.
we have seen how to realize women, their health, their importance in the society. We also learned about breast and ovarian cancer awareness. What are the treatments, how to diagnose, and how to take a good care, and what are the risk factors. And we also saw about genetic awareness and molecular advances in the case of breast and ovarian cancer. Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you, Andrea, ma'am, for your wonderful lecture on breast and ovarian cancers. Really, the topic is mesmerizing, and you have given all your inputs. Just I want to ask only one thing. What is the biggest challenge in identifying or screening this breast cancer or ovarian cancers? So, due to our sedentary lifestyle, nowadays, even the women who are living in villages, they get these cancers. Can you just elaborate what is the biggest challenge in screening these cancers? As a renowned cancer biologist, kindly give your opinion.
The biggest challenge is that women doesn't take care about themselves. That is a very big challenge because they never, you know, visit hospitals. They don't go for a checkup. They never bother about their health. So that is the biggest drawback because all the breast cancer, they're all diagnosed at a very late stage particularly in Indian scenario. That is because women and the people around them ignore the health of the women. They keep on doing their machine life, but they do not take care about themselves. That is the biggest disadvantage considering women's health. And that is the biggest challenge. Nowadays, there is a lot of advancement in early identification as well as in good treatment. But only thing is women doesn't turn up to screen themselves. By the time they come, it will be like out of hands. So that is the time they consider about themselves when they really faint and fall on the floor. Until then, they don't turn up and come to the hospitals. So that is the one and only biggest challenge in the case of breast cancer when it is considered. So when women gynecology malignancy is considered, that is the foremost one. The second I could say is that mainly is that it is diagnosed at the late stage because they don't turn up for the hospitals. That is the main thing. So only when they turn up, you can go about diagnosing and all that. So that is the main thing.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much for your clear explanation. Sheila, ma'am, you can go ahead with
Yes, ma'am.
the
Yes.
questions in the chat boxes. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure. Sir. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, some of the participants are asking the questions in the chat box, ma'am. Shall I read, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. The participant side, the first question: what is molecular profiling in cancer treatment? Shall I read, ma'am? What is the molecular profiling in cancer treatment?
Molecular
Profiling.
Profiling.
Sorry, sir.
Oh, molecular
Sorry.
profiling. Okay. So
Molecular profiling.
Molecular profiling in the case of there is no hotspot in the case of Indian scenario, but there are few genes which is reported like BRCA1 and BRCA2, especially this 185 del AG mutation is one important thing which we can we can consider when it is when it is running in a family. Okay, so familial cancers we can suspect this. Other than that, it's not. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Other than that, we can't. There is no hotspot. See, in certain populations, you have hotspots for breast cancer, for ovarian cancer, where a particular gene is suggested as a screening for a population level. But in the case of Indian scenario, we have not found as such any hotspot mutations because only now, economically we are doing a testing for all of them. So there's a lot more to be done to, particularly come down to a level that this is a molecular profile like that. So we have not reached that level, but one important advance is only in the case of BRCA1. Only that I can say.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Shall I read second question? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you can read.
Is there any preventing measures in diet? Is there any preventing measures in diet?
Oh, yes. Physical activity, avoiding obesity, and then having cholesterol levels in check is very important. In the case of diet, all recommended antioxidant enriching foods is always recommended for your good health and well-being.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. The next question. What about targeted therapy for ovarian cancer?
Yes, targeted therapy is available. In the case of HER2 positive breast cancer, you have trastuzumab medication that is being given to the patients and they respond well. In the case of ER positive, you have tamoxifen and then you have aromatase inhibitors. So all these are very good targeted therapies. They're all targeted therapies. Once you diagnose the condition, targeted chemotherapy in this way is given and the patients respond well.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. The last question. The ovarian cancer 100% curable or not, ma'am?
It depends upon the stage at which we diagnose, and ovarian hysterectomy is also done. Yeah, there are a lot of patients who are shown very great improvement in ovarian cancer if it is diagnosed at an early stage. Yes.
Ma'am, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, last question. The breast cancer is a genetic.
Breast cancer, is it a?
Genetic.
Yes, it can be caused by genetic, environmental, physical, or chemical methods. So many methods is there, which can trigger a cancer. It can be acquired during a lifetime, or it can be inherited also. Both the ways it is possible.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity to share with you all about the gynecologic malignancy, the molecular advances in gynecologic malignancy. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I thank.
Rather than gynecologist, you are one of the woman empowerment lecture, ma'am. Regarding intro, then your lecture is like a human right activist. It was very nice to associate with you in this online platform. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you all for your very patient listening. I hope I was able to reach you all, women and all of you around you, so that they all value us. I think there'll be a great change in your workplace and your home and everywhere. I just pray for that. Yeah.
Andrea ma'am, I'm sorry for interrupting. Okay,
Yes.
so this FDP is organized by two women. Okay, so two honors and secretaries, Dr. K. Sheila and Mrs. J. Reshma, along with Dr. A. Pungode. Okay, so they are the three women faculties in our department. Okay, so thank you for your wonderful lecture.
Yeah, you give all credit to us saying pillars and everything. Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
We'll have this concluding session now. Okay, we can have the concluding session.
Jay Prakash sir, Sheila ma'am, Reshma ma'am, all of you, thank you so much. If I missed out anyone's name, please bear with me. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Sheila ma'am, kindly proceed with this concluding this. Yes, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Dear participants, eagerly waiting for the end of the day session. Now I invite Dr. M. Fernandez Durai, sir, UG8, Assistant Professor, Department of Biochemistry, Sacred Heart College, Tirupattur, to summary of the FDP as well as vote of thanks. Please, sir.
Yes, very good evening to everybody. I'm visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Clear, sir. Clear. Audible, sir.
Yeah.
So I feel very happy and privileged to conclude this last 5 days FDP. It has been successfully completed in grand manner. And just I conclude in short. So I thank each and every one resource person who participated actively and explained in detail the topics. The first day one, the Dr. A. Ashok Kumar, the associate professor from Abdul Rahman Present Institution, gave the talk in remedies for ulcerative colitis and associated with cancer and what are the drugs involved and treatment. And day two, Dr. D. Mukesh Kumar, associate professor, the Center for Global Health Research at Savitha Institute of Medical and Technical Institute, Chennai. So the sir has given the detailed information about the funding opportunities and strategies for entrepreneurship and the skill development program, and the detailed about TNSESP and other funding agency and the patent details. And day three, Dr. Maria Aurike Nathan, the associate professor and head Department of Biochemistry, St. Joseph College, Kadalur, gave a very big talk and a good, interesting talk in the tissue engineering and the regenerative medicine, and key notes of cancer research and cosmetic and reconstructive surgery, and hair follicles and wound healing and biomaterial and 3D printings. On day four, given by Dr. M. Kumar, the assistant professor at the Department of Botany, Madras Christian College, Chennai, the microbes that change the world, the different types of microbes involved to change the environment and the world, especially the mushroom and the important uses. And the final day, it was really very successfully completed by Dr. F. Andrea Mary, the assistant professor, the Department of Human Genetics, Ramachandra Medical College, about the molecular advances in gynecology and malignancy, and the genetic information about and self-realization of women and women wellness, and especially topics in breast cancer. So really, it's a very important topic for a current scenario. So there is no partiality for breast cancer, even the adolescents affected by more breast limb. So I thank Dr. A. Andrea Mary. So talk about the women wellness, and this information really highly useful for women, and not only the women and the co-partners and the family members. So thank you each and everyone who successfully helped us to complete this 5 days FDP. So with this, I'd like to take a session of vote of thanks. It's my privilege to thank each and everyone who stand behind this last 5 days FDP. So first of all, I thank the Almighty to help us each and every stages to complete this FDP in grand success. And I thank the management, the rector and the secretary and vice principal, each and everyone who created the platform to us to organize this FDP without any struggle. And really, I thank from my bottom of my heart the association president, Dr. K. Sheila and J. Reshma, along with Dr. A. Pungadai, who tremendously and work hard to arrange this 5 days FDP each and every day from starting to ending. And I like to thank my companion and my colleagues, the faculty members, the PG head, Dr. A. Jayaprakash sir, the PG and PhD head, and other faculties.
Dr. Fernandez?
Yes. Is audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Audible. Nia, sir, what happened? Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes, sir. It is
Sir,
audible,
yes,
What
sir.
happened?
Audible, sir.
Audible, sir.
Sir, Nia,
Fernando,
sir.
sir.
Audible,
Kindly
sir.
go ahead. Complete, sir.
Yes. So I thank each and every one, the Department of Biochemistry, Sacred College, who worked very hardly and tremendously to complete this last 5 days session. Welcoming the resource person and vote of thanks and sharing the feedback link and associated with the associate president to uh, face all the problems. And really, without you, the participants, we could not success this FDP. So I thank each and everyone who participated from various institutions with wholeheartedly and happily. I thank. And finally, I like to thank Dr. I. Nias Ahmad, who helped us to provide a Zoom link to successfully completed this
Thank you, Nam.
FDP in visually. I thank. So without this, we could not complete this. We could not telecast, and also he published the Zoom and also in the YouTube. Also, we can watch later. So finally, if I left anybody, I bear. Please, I apologize. So I thank each and every one of this, every one of you to complete this FDP in grand manner. Thank you.
So I take this opportunity to thank our UG head, Dr. M. Fernandez Ture, who is also part of this organizing team. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your support
you.
and cooperation. I would also like to thank the participants from various institutions, maybe the head of the department, faculty members, research scholars. Thank you, everyone, each and everyone. You have been good, amazing participants for this 5 days FDP. Hope our department will continue to conduct more FDPs, and also we are planning to conduct online courses. Try to participate and get benefited. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Sheila,
Sir.
ma'am, you can
Thank you,
inform
sir.
about the
Yeah, yeah.
certificates.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, JP, sir, Fernandez, sir, Nia, sir, and all the faculty members. The dear participants, the feedback link will
Thank
be
you.
posted in the chat box. Kindly fill it. The certificate will be released within 2 to 3 days. Thank you all. Thank you for your active participation. Thank you all.
Thank you all. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you,
sir.
Ma. JP sir, wind up பண்ணிடலாங்களா? Mishilama, wind up, ma?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Please,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Please,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
Nia, sir.
Yes,
Thank you,
please.
sir.
Yes,
Thank you very
please.
much.